Bonjour, bonjour. Welcome to this video regarding the creation of a tableset, which means a tablecloth and napkins, which will be blue. This is meant as a gift for a friend of mine who has already some blue furnitures, and I decided to match the fabric of the tablecloths and the napkins to the rest of our furnitures. The design is pretty simple. Tablecloth will only be a rectangle of blue fabric. For the napkins, I decided to use a cotton fabric, which is off-white. The themes will have a blue thread, which is matching the tablecloth, and I will also add a stripe of colored fabric, which will be the same color than the tablecloth. After the Christmas table set from my previous video, I had really little time left to prepare this, so I decided to make it as simple as possible. I aligned my squares for each napkin with the stripe of blue fabric which I wanted to use in order to do the blue highlight, and then add all the stripes to my cotton fabric. I only needed to sew the blue fabric to the cotton, and this is where the problems began. I started with a zigzag stitch in order to attach the two fabrics together, but then in order to hide the zigzag stitch, I wasn't sure of the fold I was going to use. I had an idea in mind which I already used for my curtains. However, the result was a very thick fold, and I wasn't sure I wanted to use this for the napkins, so I decided to do a few tries. As expected, the result was very thick and it was also time consuming, so I decided to try another method. The fold is cleaner, thinner. I guess we have a winner. I then sewed the two fabrics together using a wide stitch in order to have a good grip on both sides of the napkins and in order to hide the zigzag stitch. Initially planned to sew all four sides of the napkin the same way, but then I decided to make it complicated because it was supposed to be a simple project and it was maybe too simple in my opinion. So I did one side with a white thread, only on the cotton fabric part, the blue fabric being sewed later on. And I decided to do the wrong side of the napkins with the blue thread. I also took some time in order to do proper angles with a beautiful fold. Afterwards, I had to sew the blue fabric doing the themes on this part as well. For the themes on the blue part, I decided to do it in two steps. The first one being to do the sides of the blue fabric, which is attached to the cotton. This way, the folds on the angles would be neater as the one I had done on the cotton. For the blue part, I use blue thread on all sides in order to make it as invisible as possible. For those wondering why I have two piles of napkins, the answer is I messed up. That is what I was meaning when I said there were problems. Half of the napkins have on the right side the stitch on the blue stripe, and the other half of the napkins have right side the stitch on the cotton part. We've managed to have really half of the napkins of each, so let's call it a feature. For the tablecloth, I decided to do it very easily, so I did simple themes and I only took care to have very beautiful angles. I used white stitch wrong side of the tablecloth and blue thread on the right side of the tablecloth. It was pure laziness. There was already white thread on the bottom part of my machine and I was too lazy to to change it to blue thread. The overall result is pretty neat. I am pretty satisfied. This project was quite easy. It was fast. I liked working on it. And I learned how to do the nice folding on the angles, and it was pretty neat at the end. So I'm very satisfied with the overall result, and I hope that I can do other projects like this, but maybe not tablecloth because it's a bit redundant to do tablecloth all of the time. But I will definitely keep sewing as much as possible. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time. Have a nice day.